Welcome back to another episode of Between the Reps. I'm your host, Granger, and today I have a very special guest, one of my best friends and college teammates, Brandon Schon. Brandon is currently the head football coach at Northwest High School here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and CEO of Dreamcatcher Training. And he is a dad of a 1-year-old little girl. He's about to get married next year. And he is, like I said, a former college athlete and is currently a high school football coach here in Ohio and is a trainer specializing with athletes. And I'm really excited for this interview. Looking forward to sharing some things about Brandon and kind of our relationship and how we met and just our experience in college and kind of how he took his leap of faith to move into coaching after playing for a number of years and kind of just go through his journey. So without further ado, I'd like to get right into it. How you doing today, Brandon?
Good, man. Appreciate you having
Good.
me on, dog.
No problem, man. It's been, I know, trying to schedule it with the kiddos, all of the different things that we have going on, especially with the football season coming up. I know you guys are really busy, but
Yeah.
kind of how's the off season been? How you guys looking? What's been kind of some pain points for you going through kind of this stage of college football? Like what does that look like
Yeah.
nowadays?
Um, it's been really good off season so far. Like, we had a really good spring. You came down to the combine, ton of coaches there. We're averaging a little above 40 guys every day at workouts. We got our first 7-on-7 Tuesday, so we're excited to compete with two other teams, Schroeder and Taft, two coaches I really respect. Excited, it's like right now. I always say, like, this time of year, if you're not feeling good about your team, something's wrong. Like, but I feel really good about my team. A lot of these guys are 3 or 4 year starters for me. Had a kid just commit like 20 minutes ago to Temple, my safety Hezekiah. So super excited for him. Got a kid Jalen's picked up a couple of D2 offers. A lot of kids are going on visits. A kid Eli's picked up a D2 offer. So, man, it's a full circle moment. I love it.
Yeah.
It's the summers. People don't realize, as a teacher coach, like, you think the summertime is like, oh, you're on break, right? Like, no, the summertime for me is my busiest time of the year because we go all morning. Like, I coached that All-Star game a couple weeks ago, so it's like practice in the morning, train for a little bit, have a break, go spend time with my fiance and Harlow, go to practice. Like, so it was nice to kind of get all that done. Had our kids camp last week, super cool moment. Like, our kids love it. We did something different this year where we brought out Sharpies and had our kids
Yeah.
sign it. And
Okay.
our kids loved it. Like, made them feel like superstars. The little kids loved it. It was really cool moment, like, special moment for the community. We had about 70 kids out this year. Um, Free kids camp, and you don't get a lot of free stuff now. So it was pretty sweet. But yeah, overall as a team, I feel really good. We've gone through a couple installs. Kids are picking up the defense really quick. Offensively, we're getting there. We've got some young guys trying to step up and play some roles and making some young guy mistakes. But overall, our leadership on offense is helping us out a lot. We've got some guys that have some big playability. Three of my old linemen are 2 or 3 year starters, and one's going to be a 4-year starter. So we're super experienced up front. We ran 110s for the first time last week,
There we go.
and
The
it
110s.
it was great because we're sitting there running, and I see those three guys that are 3 or 4 year starters grabbing a junior who we think's going to help us on O-line and
Yeah.
D-line this year by the back and making sure he's finishing in the time. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is the leadership we've been waiting to see, and this is
Into
great to see.
Yeah, to talk about I wanted to hit, I know I talked about this probably a few episodes ago, the combine. I
Yeah.
don't explain that a little more because I don't think a lot of people, I think it's huge here in Ohio how you guys kind of set it up throughout the city and
Yeah.
it allows these college coaches to come back and really get exposed to all the teams. Instead, I know you have your big schools down there. I know you guys are D3, right?
Yeah, we
Moved up to D3.
just moved to D3. We were D2 last year. Yep.
Yeah, and I know you guys have like the Mullers or St.
Yep.
X,
Muller,
those
St.
bigger
X's.
bigger schools. kind of get all the attention sometimes. And I think you've done a great job in the position that you're in, using this combine, building your networks with these college coaches to really give these kids an opportunity at what the next level and really change the dynamic of their family. So talk more about the combine and like kind of how that goes together and like how you've built from year one. Cause I know when I was down there and kind of the conversations we've had before, it was crazy to see how many big
Yeah.
time programs were on campus.
I mean, it was nuts. Like Ohio State's there, Michigan's there, UK's there, like
Yeah.
SEC, Big Ten, like, and then you got schools like Muskegon's there, like Wittenberg's there, like all D3, D2, D1, JUCO, NEI, all were there. And it's like
Yeah.
surreal moment, man. I remember my last year as a defensive coordinator was the first year we did it as at Northwest. Like it's been going on a couple years before that. So that was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And we had 3 coaches show up.
Yeah.
In the second year, we had like 7. And then the third year, we had 80. And last year, we did the same thing. And it's been a process. And I tell people all the time, like, I remember being a first year head coach trying to get guys to talk to me. And now it's cool. Like, I went to the Miami Mega Camp and watched the other day, and guys are stopping me, talking to me, asking me about my kids, asking me how I'm doing, asking about my fiance, asking about my daughter. Like, so it's like, oh, I've kind of hit that next step where guys
Yeah.
recognize who I am. And it's important for me because I played at Northwest and I've seen how guys get overlooked there. Like, yeah, we're not super small, but we're not super big. And for
Yeah.
some reason guys get overlooked at that place. And it's been super cool and helpful. Shout out to Chris Gilman. Chris is the guy that runs and kind of set up the combine called County Fair Combine. And you pretty much get to run it how you want. So we do a lot of like combine drills that you would see on TV.
Yeah.
40, Pro A, El Cone. We kind of started a little early this year because I've found from a lot of coaches, like, Coach, we don't care about that. Like, it's cool for the kids to do, but we want to see them move. We want to see do individual drills, the 7-on-7. So that's kind of what we do. And man, it's great because for me, it doesn't also give them seniors an opportunity. It also gives a freshman be like, hey, I take this shit serious. Opportunity's gonna open up for me. So it's been
Yeah.
really sweet. And honestly, it's even cool for the guys that aren't gonna go play college sports because they can be like, dude, I did a combine just like they do on NFL level.
Yeah.
Like, so it's been a great opportunity. And honestly, the best thing for it though, Granger, is me and you both know college and high school, it's a long off season.
Oh,
And
grueling, man. Grueling.
especially if you're not playing another sport. So if you're just doing football and lifting all off season, it's tough, especially for high school kids. So it gives our kids something to look forward to in the winter because
Yeah.
we'll start training it like once a week in the wintertime. Springtime, we do it twice a week, like doing different drills, kind of do a mock combine. And the kids love it because it gives them a goal to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I'm at that point as a coach where like I've got to find what keeps my kids hungry.
Yeah.
And that's
Keep that
something that keeps,
motivation.
yeah, and it keeps them motivated in the wintertime. So it's been great. It's been awesome to see how it's developed and kind of see how like some schools are modeling after what we do and how we set it up, and hearing back from other coaches like, Coach, you guys are one of the best ran combines we've seen, and we love the way you're doing it, and just trying to be uniformed. And it's good to get them compliments and hear like, hey, we do that at our level, like some of these drills we're doing, like, or we do the same thing with our Division I corner, then we're doing it at Northwest. Like, it shows me that I've got great coaches on my staff that know ball and are knowing how to teach it to kids the proper
Yeah.
way.
And that's been something kind of I was on campus, is it 2 years ago to speak to the team?
Yeah.
And then to now, just your maturation and just you're a young head coach and just where you were at that point and just
Yeah.
the core group of kids that you have and the culture that you've built over the past couple years. Now this is your third full-time year of being the head coach.
My fourth year. Yep.
Yep. And just seeing the difference, how the kids react to you, how the coaches react to you, how the structure and the organization, you're not really having to yell and scream at the guys. I feel like it's a tight ran ship. I know when we were in the locker room and you're going through stuff, everybody's paying attention. Everybody's ready to go. There's questions, but they're questions more so to kind of help get the kids where they need to be. It's not so much of, hey, Coach Schoen, how do we want to set this drill up? I feel like you've empowered your staff to really go and take charge and coach the way that they can and the way that they want to make sure that they're putting the kids in the best position.
Dude,
And
the best
I thought
thing
that
I
was really
did,
cool.
and again, like year one, I took over, for people that don't know, like I took over 2 weeks before the first game, right?
Yeah.
So it's nothing like throwing in the fire like that. So like I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Second year, it was like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. I really didn't. Last year was the first year I felt like a head coach. Like I knew I had a plan. Now it's like, hey, here's what we do. Here's how we operate. Oh, here's how we can change this to be more efficient, you know. And I've told my guys each year, and I'm a firm believer, like, if you want to do something, I'm gonna let you do it. I'm gonna let you fail.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna let. Cause I'm a big believer in you can't win till you fail, right?
Yeah.
Like, and once you fail and you kind of figure out what you can do, I'm like, all right, let me help you out. Let me get you back on the right path.
Yeah.
And I'm also a guy that thinks like, well, let me give you an opportunity, and if you see if you want to take it with you. And that's kind of how Chaz, my DC and assistant head coach last year, he became that, and he also became my strength coach. Like, because he just kept taking these roles and going with it, and now
Yeah.
he's went on to college. I'm super excited for him. Happy he's doing a great job at Finley right now. And I've seen like my OC, he started off as a receiver coach the same year I became the DC at Northwest. And he's grown each year and he's took that opportunity and grown with it. Same with my defensive coordinator, now my associate head coach as well. Like I've given these guys new opportunities each year. Like it started off as a pass game coordinator. Okay, they're doing well. Let me see what else they can do. You know, and I'm a believer in that. Like I believe like you got to give guys a chances to try to win, try to
Yeah.
fail, and try to succeed. And it's my job to not just coach the players, but to coach the coaches. And if I'm not developing guys, I'm not a good head coach. And I think that's something my guys have taken with stride. And when I give them an opportunity, they ask me how can I help you? How can I succeed? And they're trying to find ways to make sure they execute. And if they can't execute it, they're like, Coach, I failed. Like I need help. And it's my job to help them get back on track or put them in a different situation. But I've also had times where I've had coaches in the past that I've given opportunities and it didn't work out and I've had to move in a different direction. You know, like so it's like a fine line. You got to know when to give them an opportunity and when to take it away. But I've also learned to let guys fail a little bit and then let them look at me and go, "Hey, I knew that wasn't going to work, but I want you to see for yourself." Because the best teacher in life is failure, man. And
Yeah.
you can't figure it out if somebody's just going to give you the blueprint every time.
And going into kind of that piece of it, and we can kind of transition into kind of a little bit of background on your story, like where you're from, and just we can speak to the failure part a lot, just like our kind of paths as we went through Muskingum and then kind of after, like what
Yeah.
that looked like, because you had your path, I had my path. We didn't really talk for a couple years, and then somehow got reconnected and coached together at Otterbein, which that kind of grew our relationship and kind of you were going through some things there and really took a chance on yourself with taking that opportunity at Otterbein that, but it really puts you in the position that you're in now of being a head coach at such a young
100%.
age and
Yeah.
leading a program and leading men. I think if you could just touch on kind of how you grew up and just, I know most people won't know you're a, I always mess this up,
Quadruple.
not a quadruplet, not
Yeah.
even a
Yeah,
twin, a
dude.
triplet. Man, just kind of speak on your experience of what got you to Muskingum and kind of your growing up in Cincinnati.
Yeah, man. So I played at Northwest. You know, I was a quadruplet. The other three are girls. I have a little brother, a little sister. Tight knit family. Like I always talk about, like it's a blue collar family. Like
Yeah,
Schon family is known to be electricians. Like I'm the first boy in the family to not go be an electrician, and I did it in the summertime, and it taught me how to work. Like seeing my dad get up early and when he was just working for my grandpa before he bought the business and seeing him grind and then seeing him taking that grind to the next step, working all day and night, coming home and doing paperwork when he took the business over just to try to give us a better life. Like kind of showed me that type of work ethic. And I tell people all the time, if my dad's still getting up at 5 a.m., how can I not get up at 5 a.m. and go work out? And that's kind of like set the blueprint for me. And my mom too, I didn't realize till I got probably 2 years ago where I finally realized like, man, my mom's a grinder too. Like she started writing books. She runs her own business. She helps watch our kids a couple of times a week, me and my siblings. And she still tries to help the football program as just as much as you want. Like it's just to see them too, like their work ethics unmatched. And I used to always be like, man, where did I get this from? And then I start to look back and was like, wow, that's who I got it from. Is those two. So it was always cool. And then it was great. Like we're a football family. Like my sisters love football. My sister Carly's got special needs and Caitlin as well. And they love football. They come to a lot of my games still to this day. Like Carly was our biggest fan. Like she always loved Brody. She loved JG because she loved
yeah,
quarterbacks. Like
yeah,
she always came to our games. My sister Samantha cheerleaded my whole life. And so we've always been around football. So we've always been tight. My little brother played football. We were on the same team my senior year. So it's been cool. Ended up going to Notre Dame College out of, and it's actually kind of cool. Like, I decided to get like all the schools I played at, like on my arm a little bit. It's kind of like my
Tatted.
football journey, like,
Yeah.
and it defines me a little bit. And so I started off at Notre Dame College in Cleveland, D2. I played a little bit as a freshman. I remember being a guy that they didn't think was going to play. They gave me like a 2X jersey, and I was one of the few guys that had their name on the back. But I ended up starting off like just not playing. I remember it was my birthday weekend, or it was homecoming weekend, and I won homecoming king of high school. I was supposed to come back and crown the next king, and they promoted me to I got scout team player of the week. So it's like, hey, you can hop on the bus. So I rode the bus, whatever. Next week was my birthday. I'm excited. I'm about to go home. And they're like, no, you're playing this week. Like, you got in. We're going to go and put you on special teams. So I ended up playing as a freshman. And it was just really special teams, kickoff, mainly kickoff return, front line, like just hit people. And it was fun. It was a great experience. Really enjoyed it, but I felt like I deserved a little bit more money. So I was pretty much a walk on, D2 walk on, and decided to leave. Went to Miami Hamilton just to keep my credits up, and hated it. Struggled a little bit. I knew I needed football to stay in school. And after that, I found Hanover, something my mom really wanted me to go to just because it was a really good academic school. I did like Coach Steele a lot, the head coach, and we still talk to this day. One of the best head coaches I've been around, really good dude. Coach Galt was the defense coordinator, football minds, and just really good geniuses like around the game. But I struggled academically. Like, Hanover was hard for me. I changed my major from sports management to exercise science, and I was struggling and just like, man, I need to get out of here. So I was like, I'm about to just go home. And I remember talking to Darius, one of our teammates who played high school with me, and was just like, man, I'm about to hang it up. He's like, shit, go ahead and call Coach Wetzel, see if you can still come back. So I called him. He ended up calling Coach Brown. Coach Brown called me like, yeah, come give it a shot. And went to Muskegum and finished out my last 2 years there. And I tell people all the time, like, Notre Dame taught me how to grind as a college athlete. Hanover told me to showed me how to take everything outside of football just as serious, and kind of learn myself a little bit more. Muskegon's where I fell back in love with the grind. I fell back in love with football and really found family. Like, I'll never forget, like, our graduation and listening to the commencement speaker and just him talking about a home away from home. And I never thought, being a kid from the suburbs of Cincinnati, that I would fall in love with a place in the middle of nowhere with 2 pizza places and a gas station, and like,
One stoplight, maybe
it's
two
crazy.
stoplights.
I was thinking, we were talking about it the other day, like, dude, most of the people that are gonna be in my wedding are gonna be people we played football with in college in Muskegum, not kids I went to high school with, played little league with. Like, Muskegum was like the place where I found who I was. But you know what the crazy part is? After that, when I got into the coaching world, I never wanted to. I wanted to do like sports management, halftime shows, stuff like that. And I was interviewing. Got a job offer in the state of Washington, and I just didn't know I was going to do it. It was a graduate assistant spot. Didn't know I could take like personal loans out, or student loans out for living expenses, and was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm gonna wait. Ended up going to Northwest just to like pick up a sub job, just to do something while I was looking for another full-time job, and started coaching and fell in love with it and was like, dude, this is great. We sucked. We were bad. We went 1-9. I learned a lot from Coach J. Coach J's my old head coach, was probably one of my mentors. He is one of my mentors in this coaching field, and great person, one of the best dudes I've ever been around. Knows ball like no other. Taught me a lot. But then Andy Stucker, who coached me in high school and also was part of the reason I went to Hanover, was like, yeah, you might as well come over here to New Miami with me. Like, I just got a head job where I'm really good. I went over there, and I think the weight room was the size of like my living room, just super small. And I had no idea it was Division 7 football. But we were really good. We went to the playoffs, won the first ever playoff game in school history. I was a defensive coordinator. Didn't know what I was doing looking back. Like, I was calling stuff thinking I was good. And we were good. Like, dude, we were averaging 2 interceptions a game, a fumble a game, 2 sacks a game. Like, our stat line on defense was really good. But looking back, I could have been so much better. Like, if I knew what I knew now, and that's easy to say hindsight, but it's like, dude, it's just like, I had no idea. So then after that, I went and GA'd, and, I was with you at Otterbein. That's kind of where we got close again, because we were with each other every day again, and with Terry, and just it was the best thing I did. And I tell people all the time, I bet on myself. I took a student loan out to pay for my apartment, and I was a GA, just waking up at 5, or well, actually I woke up at 4:30 so I could walk my dog Sky for 30 minutes every morning. So she was getting some type of cardio, like, and then I would go home, go back, shower, go to the school, and we were grinding out at 6 a.m. And I learned so much ball from Coach Dalp and Coach Moore. Like, I learned how to be a better mentor, how to the players, a better leader, how to coach coaches. Like, that's where I really learned it. And the grind there showed me like, hey, you can coach. Like you're pretty good at this stuff. Like you just gotta believe it. And didn't think about leaving. And then all of a sudden I kept getting calls from people at Northwest, like, hey, would you be interested in coming back? Like, I don't know, maybe if it's the right move, but it's gotta be a coordinator spot. And Coach Jay called me, ended up wanting to hire me and bring me back, and came back to Northwest, was a DC for a year, went to the playoffs, hadn't been done in 4 or 5 years. We had a really good defense. Um, and that was kind of how I got back to Northwest. But like, then Otterbein helped me so much. And I tell people all the time that that place I never thought I would have won at. Like, just because of playing against him, I hate him as a player. Like,
It's like a
never thought I would
big,
have ended up there. And I've loved Cincy. Never thought I'd love Columbus. Like, I loved living in Columbus. It was a good time. It was great to be around football all day, and it
yeah,
showed me like the ability I had. So that's kind of like my journey, like my kind of upbringing. Like I said, I come from a big family. Like, we're all tight. All my siblings had kids like around the same time, so our kids are growing up together. It's a pretty cool moment right
yeah.
now. Like, everybody's so young with same age.
And then when you to go back to the Muskingum for a little bit and talk on kind of our experience there, I got there a year before you.
Yeah, year before me.
So
Yep.
that was probably one of my best years of football. So coming in, probably heard about our offense. We were decent on offense and kind of really struggled defensively. I think coming in, like we would be in a lot of games and then we'd give up some big plays on defense. And speak to kind of what your first thought was. I know because I had come from Ashland, and I know what my thought was when I first came to Muskingum, like facility wise. And now it's amazing. We have
Yeah.
incredible facilities. I would say Muskingum has one of the top facilities in Division III football.
Yep.
But what was your thought process coming in that first semester to a new place, new teammates, new environment? Like what was that thought process like?
Yeah, I would say for me it was different just because I had transferred to Hanover
Yeah,
before after Notre Dame, and going D2 to then going to D3 at Hanover was like, whoa, like this ain't competition ain't the same, but just
yeah,
mentally I was struggling there, and that's kind of part of the reason like I just didn't play much as there. Like, I played a little bit but not enough. But when I got to Muskegum, like all I wanted to do was prove myself right. Wasn't prove nobody else wrong. Like, I knew I was gonna start at the bottom of the depth chart, and I remember looking at it and telling the linebackers like, from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm a go getter. That's pretty much what I want to say. Like, I just want to prove myself right. So I knew starting day one on third at wheel linebacker, 'cause I wasn't there to make friends. Like, the first couple of days, like I didn't want to talk to nobody. I remember Darius like, man, talk to people. Like, you be good. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to take somebody's job. And that was the only thing I could think about in my head, man, was just take somebody's job, do what you got to do, because like I can't fail a third time. Like, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a complete failure transferring, but like for me, it felt like I was failing because I had played. Yeah, I played everywhere I
yeah.
went, but I didn't play as much as I wanted to at Hanover. I didn't play
You
as
had a
much as I
chip on
did
your
as a freshman.
shoulder.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of my personality. Like, and
Yeah,
that, like,
yeah,
I always feel like I'm the underdog, and I truly I'd say that first month, man, I didn't really talk to nobody. I just learned my plays and was back in my room, like learn the plays, go to practice, go back to the room. Like, I did just want to prove myself right and make sure everybody back home was proud of me. That
yeah.
was my biggest thing.
You were definitely quiet. I think that was my first impression. Because I mean, I was pretty established. Like I was probably not a big personality. I was never like a rah-rah yell and scream like leader type, but I definitely was. You knew who I was. I feel like I didn't really use my leadership ability the way I should have, I felt like. So coming in, my first impression of you was very quiet, very reserved. We're on two different sides of the ball. So I feel like that first year you were there, I feel like we didn't really talk a whole lot until I think going into that would have been our after the season winter conditioning, because that was the first, because I played basketball. That was the first year that I actually was there during the winter for lifting. I think
Yeah.
at my time in Muskingum. So that would have probably been going into our senior year.
Yeah,
And
and that was
then,
like that's when I became who I was. Like,
Yeah,
that's when I was like, all right, it's time to leave. Like, it's time to be the dude in the morning that's got the energy and can fake the juice until we really got it, you know?
got it.
And
Yeah.
like that winter is when I was like, yeah, this is who I am. And I really met my friends and like got my core group of dudes that I was like cool with every day, you know?
And we had a pretty crazy experience that junior year going into our senior year. I mean, we
Oh,
didn't have a coach until April. I
yeah,
was I was just talking to Emily about that, and if you could take a college football program, just your from my point of view, being at Muskingum, I looking back now, dude, that was some of the best times of my life. Like I really wish I would have been more present that last
yeah,
year because I had so much fun. Like I got getting hurt that first game, I think really messed with me mentally and not really being able to practice with everybody and really just playing in the games. I kind of felt like, I mean, I'm a captain and what am I doing? Like I'm not
yeah,
really contributing
yeah,
a lot throughout the week and I'm coming in and playing in a game. Like I didn't really feel like I had earned that right to be a captain because yeah, maybe in the off season I earned it, but like I wasn't focused during the season. Like I
yeah.
was half there, half in, half out. I was in Columbus all the time. And really just like, I mean, me and you probably butt heads a few times during the
We
games.
did. We
We
did. Yeah.
definitely went back and forth. But just like that's a testament to who you are as a person. You are a great friend and holding someone accountable, even though our relationship that we had, you still were on top of me and still like, I mean, I think it was like week 4, I was about to quit and
You were.
you were
Yeah, it
in
was
my
like,
grill, man. You were like
yeah.
just on me constantly, but like that's a testament to the person that you are and the leadership skills that you have and just really you got me through my senior year, honestly. Like I probably would have
Yeah.
quit if it
Yeah.
wasn't for you, to be honest with you. I was over it, man. My body was beat up and I was done. So like just speak to how you learned like that leadership and what was the switch that flipped between your junior and senior year to the player that you were your senior year and the leader you were.
That's a good question. I think it was just like just the want to do something different.
Yeah.
You know, like I've always been like a captain. I've always been an okay leader, but I was like, how do I make myself better? And that's a whole nother guy's accountable. Like, and I felt like that was something I was always missing in myself. Like in high school, I was like, I tell my kids that I coach now, like I wasn't the best leader in high school. College, I was a great leader because I learned how to lead the proper way. And for me, it's just like when to take that next step, it was to be able to hold everybody accountable, not just myself, not just my position group. And I think it also helped because I knew everybody, right? And
Yeah.
that was the first time in college that I came back to a team for a second year. So I kind of knew who everybody was and kind of knew what made you mad, what made you happy, what fired you up. Like
Yeah.
I learned my teammates and that helped me. Like I understood how to get to you versus how to get to our quarterback and make him better.
Yeah.
Right. Like and that took time. And I think that's something you can't do unless you really know your teammates.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a firm believer in that. Like I've even told my players last Friday, we were talking about what's family mean to me as a coach, like as a person, me, Coach Schon, and they were like everything. And I was like, why do you say that? And they told me like, well, you tried to get your sister job here. And I'm like, okay, how'd you know that? And I forgot this kid's been in the car with me multiple times and he's heard me talk to my sister about it. And
Yeah.
I asked him then, I was like, so if family's important to me, how do I treat you guys versus my family? He's like, the exact same. He's like, the same way you talk to us, the same way you hold us accountable. You're the exact same person. I've heard you on the phone, Coach Sean, with your brother, with your sister, giving them the same talk that you give us. Like, and I'm a firm believer in that, man. Like, if you love somebody, you gotta hold them accountable, right? Like, I can't expect you to do better for yourself, Granger, if I'm not gonna be willing to help you get there,
Facts.
right? And
Yeah.
I think we've had some tough conversations over the years of like, nah, dog, this ain't right.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
just being honest with each other, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I think people love you more when you're honest with them. And
Oh, for sure. And they might not see it in the moment. And that's something that I've kind of realized is like just you got to have the hard conversations with your friends, with your family. I mean, there's situations that I've had to deal with that I've like had to talk to some people. I'm like, hey, look, you're just not cutting it, man. It's not, I still love you, but like you gotta get it together. And you can only put people on the path and give them the words of encouragement and just talk to them. Right. Like I feel like you do a good job of like, you can't do it for them. Like you have those hard conversations, but at the end of the day, like, you know that it's ultimately up to them and for them to make the right decision. And I think that's something that every coach needs to have, is just those type of leadership skills, especially with kids nowadays, and pointing them. They need someone in their corner to navigate like the NIL stuff, all the people that are going to be in their ear. Like, you're not in it for the money.
No,
I
no.
know that.
I've even told my guys, like, don't ever thank me for putting you in that spot because you
Yeah.
did it. Like, I just gave you the blueprint. I can't
Yeah.
make you do anything. I can give you the idea, the blueprint, and the plan for the how to execute it and get to your goals, but you got, at the end of the day, you got to do it. And even like when my kid committed today, I've the whole time I've never told him where to go, where not to go. I've always just laid it out like, hey, here's what they're saying, here's what they're telling me, here's what they're telling you. What do you think about it? And I think that's a big thing as a leader, is understanding, like, how do you get the people under you to understand stuff, right? Like, and I wasn't always a good leader. I
Yeah.
still think I'm not the best leader. I think I'm still developing it. Something I picked up this past off season, which is hard for me because I've never been a reader, but I think it's the next step in my development as a leader is learning how to read leadership books and understand it the proper way. Like, I've always done podcasts, I've always listened to motivational speakers, but I was like, what's the next step? And for me, it was reading books. And I read Breathe Oxygen, and you either breathe the good oxygen or you breathe the bad in. And you breathe oxygen into your people. Like, so speaking positivity into them and just kind of showing them the right path and letting them make the decisions, but guiding them through it. And that's kind of like the way I've done it. Like, like, I've never tried to make the decision for somebody. I think I'll always say the same. Like, I could take the horse to the water, but I can't make him drink it. It's like, I'll give you the blueprint, but it's your job to execute it. And I think that's what helps a lot of leaders. Once you understand that, like, you're able to allow the people around you to become better leaders themselves. And when people are in your daily job, if the person around you is working harder and is leading better, like, the guy under him is better. It's just like a
Yeah.
trickle down effect.
Yeah. And that's something I think is huge, is that you spoke on, was whether it's in work, you're a teacher, in your job, or you're a coach, is learning the people around you, learning how they tick, understanding them, and like getting outside of yourself and really getting into other people and understanding who they are. Like, that's how you can help them, by understanding what makes them tick. Like you said, you could talk to me a certain way, but we couldn't talk to our freshman quarterback the same way you're talking to me or talking to an upperclassman. It's going to be completely different. Just navigating those relationships and being able to help each other out. And I think when you truly learn someone, that's how like you build the relationships. I mean, we talk on the phone probably 3, 4, 5 times a week in the morning. And yeah, mate, sometimes you never call me back, but it's it's the relationship that we've built over the years, and just understanding each other and just having those solid relationships. If I could tell any of the kids that I'm training or that I'm working with or people I meet, is like, having good people around you is literally going to show you your future and kind of the path that you're going to go down. If you got a bunch of kids that are around you that are not doing the right things, at a certain point, you're probably not going to do the right things.
It's so true that, like, you are who you hang around. When I was trying to be a person out, like, just having fun, like, I was around
Yeah.
different people. And I
Yeah.
wanted to be successful and kind of like take my career to the next path. Like, start hanging around different people. Like, I start getting around mentors, and like, 100%. Like, you can't be successful if you're around people that don't want to be successful,
Yeah.
right? And you
It-
can only want it for somebody for so long.
Yeah.
They've got to want it eventually for themselves, and that's where I think a lot of people struggle, is they want somebody else to come with them, but if they're not willing to put the work in, they're never going to take that next step.
Yeah. Well, I would say you spoke on something you learned at Notre Dame, what you learned at Hanover. What was the biggest thing for you at Muskingum that you took away from your experience there? I know we had two different head coaches, we had different coordinators, we had a bunch of different teammates. Like, what is something that you took away from that stop, and as you went into graduation and moved into the next spot?
Yeah, I would say there was two things I really learned. I learned that I was more than a student athlete. That was like where I first started taking school serious, and I
Yeah.
was like, man, I'm getting all these interns and different job opportunities, and I was like, I can do this. Like, I don't have to
Yeah.
just be a football player my whole life. And that's what I learned outside of ball. Football, I learned that like whatever you want to do on the field can happen. It just takes a little bit more work. Like,
Yeah.
and I learned that the proper preparation would prepare me and I would play well. Because the
Yeah.
weeks, even our senior year, the weeks I didn't watch a lot of film, I didn't play well. The weeks I watched a lot of film, I was getting 10 plus tackles. And I had a felt like I knew where the ball was going before it was snapped, you know? And that's when I kind of learned like the proper preparation will set me up for success. Like that's what I learned on the field. And it took me till I'd say junior year, like midway junior year. So my first year in Muskegon to like figure that out. So that's really what I learned in Muskegon was like kind of like just how to prepare, you know, and what preparation does for somebody.
I would say, even with my experience, we kind of had two different experiences at Muskingum towards the end of our careers. You were fully bought in, and I was kind of on the fringe, but just the resilience of kind of going through that situation, having two different head coaches and being able to kind of come back our senior year and have a pretty decent record.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of the best records Muskingum had had in like 15, 20 years, and really
Yeah.
just propelling yourself into the next chapter of your life of going to the different spots and coaching. And really, I think Muskingum taught you that you could bet on yourself and
Yeah.
being able
100%.
to take a situation and make the most out of it. Because even at Otterbein, we weren't very good, but you learned probably so much from Coach Moore and kind of the structure of what it really takes to be a great coach.
Yeah. 100%. I definitely, that's definitely where I learned how to bet on myself. Like, and to this day, like I've always said to people, like double down, put the house on, and be shown. Like
Yeah.
I always bet on myself because it's like situations like that where it worked out for me. And yeah, like Otterbein, I learned so much, man. Like it was we were a bad football team, but like Moore was a great coach, great
Yeah.
defensive coordinator. Doubt was a great head coach. Like I learned a lot from both of them, and it kind of helped me what I want to do as a head coach when I became the head coach, when I became a defense coordinator. And anytime I got a leadership role, I was thinking about what they taught me. I mean, it was part of the reason I left and went to Otterbein. The reason I left New Miami and took the risk to go to Otterbein, even not making much. I think I made $500 a month and had took that student loan out through FAFSA to pay for my housing, but it was betting on myself, you know, like, and that was the best thing I did. And honestly, if I didn't go to Muskegon, I wouldn't have learned how to bet on myself like that. So like it truly like Muskegon really taught me to take that risk. And I tell people all the time now, like, take the risk, man. You never know what's gonna happen. You can sit back and just cruise, but like if you don't take that risk, your life's always gonna stay the same.
Yeah. You got to be able to bet on yourself, especially in the world that we live in today, is no one's going to hand it to you. No one's going to hold your hand and walk you through the process. Like at a certain point, you got to step up. And I mean, even though being a dad now, like that's a whole different journey of
So different.
managing your family, and football takes a lot of time, and you've done a great job at that. And kind of just, I mean, neither of us kind of know what we're doing being dads, and you just go at it at the same mentality that you did with football, and everything you do in your life is just one step at a time and just putting the work into it. Like you got to put work into your family. You got to put work into the relationships that you're building. And I think you've done a great job of navigating that. I know you're planning a wedding right now. Same for me. And that's got to be fun. Your guys is going to be a good
That's gonna be a
time.
good time.
Looking forward to that. And really just the training, wanted to hit on that as we kind of wrap up here. What has that been like? Dream catcher training? Because you kind of started that right when you went back to Cincinnati after Muskingum.
Yeah, so I did it before I went to yeah, right when I got from Muskegon, I did it. It stopped when I went to Otterbein, kind of picked it back up. It's kind of it's kind of slowed down a little bit since I became a head coach. I've kind of gotten to the point where I've gotten kind of more picky. You know, like I used to train everybody. Like I specifically do a lot of football, baseball, and soccer kids. Like that's kind of been like my expertise. I've done a few basketball kids, done well with them. I've done a lacrosse kid. I've done a swimmer. I've done the which I call just your everyday person, right? Like I've done an all women's class and loved it. Like probably the funnest groups to train are all women classes because they
Yeah.
always bring a friend. They're high energy. They don't think they're better or know more than you. Like a lot of times when you get male clients, like they just think they're like, oh, they're too good for this. Like I don't really need this, but I know what I'm doing. Um, so it took off for a while, and right now I'm very selective. Like I've trained like 5 or 6 kids, and that's it. And that's because I want to, And it's a lot of times it's a couple of kids that played for me in high school, and now they're in college, and there's a couple of little kids that I've just trained for the last couple of years I've kept around. But it's kind of like it's slowed down just mainly because I've wanted it to. Because being a head coach needs to be a bigger priority, and my family needed to be a bigger priority for me. And there's certain aspects I want to grow again. Um, and that's something I'm going to focus on this winter. And me and my fiance have talked about it and how I want to take it to the next level. Want to get more into the nutrition side, and it's actually helped because we feed the boys every day protein shakes and peanut butter and jelly. And I've been making electrolyte shots and kind of just testing stuff out and kind of learning some of that stuff like self taught. So it's kind of helped me with that in the long run. But yeah, it's kind of slowed down. But honestly, too, I've always talked about Marcus Freeman talks about this the work life blend. And as a football coach, it's hard to have a work-life balance. And as you know, like my daughter comes to practice in the summertime 2 or 3 times a week, depending on Cameron's work schedule. Cameron supports football. Does she love it all the time? No, but she knows how happy it makes me. And that's something every day I try to get better at is like balancing that. And that's part of the reason training kind of slowed down. But man, I still love it. Like I love sports specific training, especially linebackers, D line. Like that's my expertise. And just trying to like critique it. Like I've got a couple of different certifications. So it's been good. I do some online training. I've done online training with one of my sisters and a few other clients for the last couple of years. And it's different because you don't get that interaction in person, but it's still a good time. Like you're still helping somebody reach their goals. And I think in the day for me, success is how I impact people. And that's why I coach and that's why I train, because they're both impacting people in different ways. So like I said, training's not as big as it used to be for me, but that's because I'm a head coach now, and that was my ultimate dream.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not like it took a back burner because it just wasn't. It was struggling. It took a back burner because my main dream came to reality.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's awesome, man. And seeing you kind of transition into really 110% bought into Northwest, and got a couple questions here for you that I think you kind of hit on. The one is like, what's your why and your reasoning behind coaching? But what does the next 5 years look like for you? Whether that's in your personal life, your professional life, what does that look like? And what are you trying to build? Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
And
So I'm gonna hit on my why a little bit first because I wouldn't say it's just like that was my why at first. That
yeah,
developed into my why is helping people. First, I coached because I didn't know who I am without the game. To be honest with you,
yeah,
I still don't know if I knew who I am without football, right? Like it's
yes,
been a part of my life forever and it's never stopped. So coaching was that replacement for playing. And once I started coaching, it's when it's like, man, I want to develop these guys. I want to help them become the best version of themselves. So that's kind of like when my why like transitions, probably year 1, year 2. But I would say the next 5 years, man, like I've thought about getting back into college, but I'm also a firm believer and I'm gonna trust God's plan, right? Like, and I'm not gonna rush it. I'm not gonna pick a horrible job just to get back into college. Like, I love Northwest. I don't think there's a timeline on when I will leave. I truly think like I'm moving in God's purpose. And if God decides it's time for me to go back to college, then that's when I'm gonna go back to college. But as of right now, like I love Northwest. It's home. At first I was like, it's just another place, but it truly is a special place for me. So it is pretty cool to be back there every day. And so I don't think I necessarily have a plan with that. Like I know I'm gonna be
okay,
coaching ball for the next 5 years. I'm not
yeah,
gonna say I'm gonna leave Northwest. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna stay forever. But I would say right now I'm where my feet are. That's kind of wrong with that. I mean, family wise, like we do want to grow our family one day. Not right now. I think we want to focus on Harlow and give her all the
I got
time she
two,
wants.
man. I got two. You
Yeah.
got to catch up.
And after that, I'm good. I'm good after
I'm
two.
done. I got
I'm
the
good.
snip snip. I'm good, man. I'm cool on the. I got two girls, two blessings, and
And I love it,
man, it
man. It's great. It's great.
being
But
a
it's
girl
just
that, yeah, man, it just
and I
hit
tell
on
people all the
that, man.
time,
Yeah, being
I don't even want no boy. Like when we have a
yeah,
second kid, because to me, like my players are my sons. Like,
yeah,
and
facts,
I've
man,
had
facts.
players tell me like, "Man, you're like my dad." Like, and I'm like, "Nah, I know. Like, I know that."
Yeah,
Like, for me, I just want another daughter. And we
yeah,
have another kid. Um, we want to expand training because we wanted to help give us some more passive income, and just kind of find different ways to like take care of our family and put us in a better situation. So, that's kind of my 5-year plan, man. This is, like I said, I'm where God puts me. I don't plan on leaving Northwest unless somebody calls me for a job as a college coach. I don't see myself coaching another high school. Um, I don't, I'm never going to say I'm going to force something. I'm not. Cause if I feel like God's leading me a certain direction, whether it's another high school, another college, like in 5 years from now or 10 years from now, like that'll happen. Or if it's in 30 years, he says, hey, you did 30 years in Northwest. That's where I wanted you. Cool. Like I'm generally at a good place with where he's got me. I think it's where I'm supposed to be. We're getting married next summer. So that's part of us in that 5-year plan. Um, Exciting times, stressful times, but
Very
super, super
stressful.
blessed. Super
Yeah.
stressful.
Can you think of, if we're sitting here, we're at your townhouse, and it's a Saturday night. Could you sit there and tell me this is where we would be 10 years later?
No,
No.
never would have thought because I would have, one, I didn't want to coach. I
Yeah.
kept telling people I would never coach. I kept like trying to block it. And I think God made me a substitute teacher making no money because he knew I needed to see like this is where you need to be. Like, right?
Yeah.
Like never thought I would be married before 30 because I remember a coach of mine told me like, man, wait till you're like 35. And I'm like, you're right. That sounds right. Like never would have thought I would have been in a serious relationship, bought a house with my fiance. Like would never thought I'd still be in Cincinnati. Like I had all plans to move to Savannah, Georgia. Like that was always where I wanted to go. But yeah, no, I wouldn't have thought either of us would be where we're at. And I know you haven't either, right? Like who would have thought you'd be working in construction, right? Like
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy
who thought you'd been married? Like it didn't 10 years ago, there's no way I would have believed this. Like you would have
Yeah.
told me this, I would have bet you $1 million it wouldn't have happened to either of us.
Oh, I would have wrote you a check for $1 million that I wouldn't
Yeah.
happen, that I couldn't cash. I mean, it's just crazy to you talk about like God's timing and being where your feet are. I think, bro, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. I think there's some big things coming for you, your family, and just the way you operate in your day-to-day life, how you interact with those around you, how you care about people, especially the family man that you are, man. It's just a blessing. And I do have one more question for you. I think if you could tell a kid that was in our position, maybe our senior year or a year after college, and they're struggling maybe mentally, like where their purpose is in life, what would you tell that kid? And what what words of encouragement could you have for someone that might be in that position?
Believe in God's plan, because I think we get caught up in what we think we need to happen, what we want to happen, but we
Yeah.
don't understand he's got a plan for us, right? Like he's got the blueprint laid out for us and you just gotta follow it, right? Like trust in it. And you're not gonna understand every sign that he gives you, but you gotta just trust it and have that undeniable faith that everything's gonna work out exactly how it's supposed to, right? Like and like you said, like looking at like kid going through what we went through and how it all turned out, both of us transferring, not understanding why we had to go to a place like Muskegon, like not understand why we've had to be dead broke before, why we've
Yeah.
had to feel like we're at the top of the world and get knocked down multiple times. Like it's for a reason. Like and I to be honest with you, like I think the older I get, the stronger my faith has got. And the more I believe in God's plan for me, like it just gave me the chills saying it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like
mean, I got chills.
it's
I got
you know
chills
what I'm
just hearing
saying?
you speak on it,
It's
man.
it's something that like I struggled with when we were younger. Like truly believe in it, even just being like, like I believe, but I don't know. To where now
Yeah.
I'm like undeniable faith. Like
Yeah.
I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I know it's because of him. Like I'm in my word now. Like I understand it. Like it's different, man. Like that'd be the advice I give a kid is just trust his plan for you, and just give it everything you got.
Yep. Man, that's incredible. I mean, I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now. Just thinking about just your process and how far you've came, man. Just I mean, those times at Otterbein, we'd be sitting there having a couple drinks, and we're saying, I mean, this sucks. Like
Yeah.
the point we were at in our lives, and it was just like,
It
man, that
was
was tough.
it was tough, and if you weren't there, you don't really know. Like, and I tell
Yeah,
people all the time, like, if you want to coach, you need to be a graduate assistant because you're gonna work your tail off.
yeah.
If you want to learn how to be a successful person in life, be a graduate assistant because it taught us how to work and
Yeah.
be dead broke. I mean, you were a volunteer coach and you were
Yeah.
putting in the hours. Like, dude, it was Otterbein was one of the best times of my life because I didn't realize how little I had and how hard I was working for that little.
Oh, and even like I can't even imagine. Like I had a full-time job and I was volunteering, but just like what you guys were going through, like you didn't realize you didn't have that much. Like we still had fun, we still enjoyed our time, and that's what I could tell you. Just find a group of people like that
It's this
you
it goes
care
back to
about.
what you
Yeah,
said. Like, have good people around you. Like between
yeah,
me, you, Terry, like we were having fun at practice every day
yeah.
because and we were doing the bottom stuff like setting up cameras,
Getting the
getting
feel
all
of the
the practice
bags,
equipment out, driving over to the
the
grass field,
feel
like
that was the
filling up my
worst, man.
truck, dude, filling up my truck, like and it's not like we getting paid to use my truck, like and then going to class after, like having to go study a business class that I didn't
Yeah.
really care about, like dude, it was one of the funnest times because you just didn't do nothing but work and you didn't know any better. And I think that's what helped. We were young. I mean, we weren't young, but we were young. We were 21,
We were young.
22, 23 at the time, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were just working. Like, and I remember saying to somebody one time, like, dude, you don't know how it is because I worked a full-time job and then I GA'd. So I went from making some money, not a lot, but made some to going to like back to being broke. And it was just like, I ain't got nothing. But
Yeah.
hustle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that's legit what it was is like, it was a great time. Like sometimes some of the memories pop back up on my phone and I'm like, man, like, God, we had a blast. Like, and you didn't realize how fun it was in the moment, right? Like you were
Yeah.
just living in the moment. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about that, dude, is we were just in the moment.
In
Like
the
when we were at
moment.
practice, we're just there doing our job, like just having fun, coaching kids up, like just being a coach, right?
Yeah.
Just being a great dude. Like, and I know you still talk to some of them kids we coached. I still talk to some of them.
Yeah.
Like it was great. It was a great
It,
time, great experience.
it was fun to even just be back in that environment and to be in the coach's office kind of after practice, just messing around, or we go over to Coach Dalps, or you felt like just being with the guys again.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing that I still to this day I miss, and I still try to figure out how to be a part of that because that's the thing I miss is the locker room. I miss the boys just like hanging out and that being in that position. Like you said, we were just in the moment. We would hang out in the coach's office. We would mess around with each other. I mean, we're grown men messing around with each other, like
Yeah, it was like we were in
making
college all
jokes.
over again.
Like, yeah. And it was just
I
like,
mean, you remember me and Terry used to mess with each other all the time,
yeah,
like little brother type syndrome.
yeah,
Like just trying to make the other person mad. And
yeah.
you're just in there laughing at us, trying to get us going. Like it was like legit, like you were in the locker room just as an
Yeah,
adult, right? And honestly, sometimes that's kind of how I feel as a coach. Like we'll sit in the equipment room after and just talk about practice and go through it, and
yeah,
it still feels like the locker room, you know.
yeah,
And that's like a feel that you can't tell nobody about if they haven't been through
no,
that, man. Like
no,
it's football has brought us so much. Like, and I think I can't thank the game of football enough. Like I said, like people that's going to be in my wedding are a couple of
yeah,
my college teammates and like two of my high school teammates, and that's all because of this game. Like this kid's game that brought me close to all these people that I never would have thought. Like, who would have thought little old Brandon Schon will be a head coach, would be
yeah.
friends with all these dudes because of a game. You know, like went to Muskegon. I wouldn't have went to Muskegon without football.
Oh,
It's no shot. Like,
I live 15 minutes away.
yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, ah, man, it was great times. It was fun times. Every everything about like our experience at Muskingum and Otterbein and just the friendship that we have now, bro. I can't thank you enough for the person that you are, the dad that you are, the example that you continue to be for your community. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate all that you do. Continue to be an inspiration to everybody around you, man. And if you, like I said, you ever need anything, you know, I'm one phone call away. I know you ain't going to call me back if I answer. Every time you get on the phone, I'll call you right back. I don't hear from Sean for 2 days.
Busy man.
Busy
But
man, man.
hey,
But
but you know how it is, man. You know, end
I
of the
know.
day, like I love you, and I'll do
Yes,
anything for
sir.
you
Love you too,
anytime.
man.
And I love this podcast, dude. I've watched every episode. I think it's an amazing thing you're doing.
I
I can't wait
appreciate
to
it.
see it blow up. Like
Yes,
I
sir.
think you're one episode away from it
Yes,
being
sir. I
big. And
appreciate that.
I think the stories you've showed, not just with Emily, like the episode with Emily was great, right? Like you guys are very open about your relationship and
Yeah.
where you guys have grown, how you guys have met, being a parent, even talking about your struggles,
Yeah.
and just being flat out open about it, right? Like
Yeah.
from college, from your time in Columbus on your own, like
Yeah.
man, I think that's eye opening. You don't know the impact you're gonna have on someone one day, right?
I
And
appreciate that,
I
man.
think I think those episodes are gonna change somebody's life one day, and we just don't know
Yeah.
when, but it's gonna come. And I think it's great to see because this is something you've talked about doing for years, and
Yeah.
you took that bet on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like we said, like you bet on yourself, and who knows what's gonna happen from it in the next couple months.
I appreciate it, bro. Well, like I said, if anyone needs anything, if you need someone to speak to, reach out to me. And if this episode has helped you in any way, please share it on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and just leave us a comment, give us a follow, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.